There we go. Hey, folks, what's going on? Aunt Pruitt here. Hope you're doing well. It's another unbelievable Thursday here at Chateau Ghetto and the smartphone photographers community. Welcome. This is our weekly hangout on there where we get together and discuss different tips and tricks to make you a better smartphone photographer. Because, they always say the best camera that you have is the one that's with you. And I can damn near guarantee it. You're going to always have this camera with you versus your handy dandy point and shoot or your fancy DSLR. You know what I mean? Thing is, most of us take pretty bad pictures with those things, and we can really get some good shots out of them if we take a little time to figure out what they're all about and what their capabilities are. You know what I mean? So that's what we talk about here in this wonderful community. And each week we get together and just sit down and laugh at one another and critique each other's shots and share different tips about those photos because we have a weekly challenge. Last week, the challenge was set and themed to be make one stand out, quote, make one stand out. Interesting challenge theme, and didn't get a lot of participation on it. I think I know why, but it's quite all right. But anyway, before we get into that, I'd like to introduce the panel that joins in on the Hangout each week. This time it's only one panelist joining. So let me give my man a holler. Mr. Michael King, what's happening?
Not much. Just trying to stay dry. We are back on the flash flood watches. This is that time of year.
Another flash flood watch.
Oh, yeah. We're supposed to have like between 6 and 8 inches of rain Saturday.
Is your neighbor's name Noah?
Unfortunately, no. We haven't built an ark yet.
Jeez, dude. Goodness.
Well, as I said, this is the time of year if we're going to get rain, this is when we get it. This is when we get caught up on our rain and go ahead, because as soon as June comes, we won't have rain again until we get a hurricane or a tropical storm or something.
Mercy.
Which we're expecting this year.
Mercy, mercy, mercy. Well, I appreciate you joining us as always, my man. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. This hangout might be a little bit shorter. It's all good. Either way, we're going to give you the meat of this here community. You know what I mean? Let's see here. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to pick through a few of these photos. Screen share. That one there. Start. Mr. King, do you see my screen, brother?
Yes, see it perfectly. I see my picture right up front. Yuck.
Right.
Okay. Well, that was the beginning of our reign today.
All right. So, well, since you picking on yourself, I'm gonna pick on you too. All right. The theme for this week's photo challenge again was, make it stand out. Well, let me go back just to make sure you're right. Make one stand out. That was the theme of the challenge. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now you took, and I love me a cloud shot. Don't get me wrong, but gotta ask you, what in the heck are you trying to make stand out, brother?
The blue sky.
The blue sky. Jeez.
That's all of our blue sky for the day.
That's a little hard to pull off right there when it's 98% cloud.
Yep.
What phone did you use? Let's see. I know you're an iPhone guy. You got the iPhone 6 Plus.
The 6 Plus and the high drive, and I used the HDR setting.
Oh, okay, with Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's interesting. I figured it would. Oh, you said you cropped it down though.
Yes.
Okay, so never mind, because I thought this number was a little low for the dimensions.
Yeah. Let me go to the group. Here is. I'm gonna go to my screen real quick. Here's the. Okay, here it is. Here's the actual shot that I took.
Mm-hmm.
If I get the screen share to come, here we go, and go. There. That's the original.
Okay, still loading on my side. Okay, now we got it. Okay, yeah. So you really cropped that down, basically down to the third.
Yeah, because basically, if you look at it, what do you see? Power lines.
Yeah.
Trees that are just now beginning to bud out, and
Yep.
cars.
Yep. But you were thinking about the sky.
Right.
I feel you. I feel
And
you.
I was trying to get as much as I could, but without and cut out some of these trees
Right.
that are still in there because they have not. They're still in the winter look. They're just now starting to bud out.
Right. Click on that photo details for me.
Okay. If I there. Oh, because I'm in the wrong screen. Here we go.
That helps.
There.
All right. So Hydra was the app, right?
Yeah. And the file size is 1.29 megabytes.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah, I was
huge
curious
file.
about the dimensions or whatever. I figured it would have been like 4,000 something by, 2,500 or something like that. Well,
Yeah.
interesting. But yeah, that's a pretty big file there for that particular app. For those that aren't familiar, I'm gonna turn off my screen share for a second. For those that aren't familiar with Hydra, this is an iOS only app, and what it does is it's basically doing HDR, where it takes at least 10 shots within a matter of of a second or two, right, Michael?
Mhm. Yes.
And it takes it at several different exposure levels, and it just masks them all together, layered them on one at a time. And of course your picture is going to be a little more dense with pixels and color and saturation and so forth,
Hmm.
and so you're going to get a nice rich photograph and end up getting a big file size too. And from the shots that I've seen from Michael and even my man Portis in the community, that app really does just take your shots up
Yeah.
to another level far as the quality of photo that you get out of the camera.
And
Now,
this is the HDR one. Look at that red truck, and then this is the mini warehouse,
right,
and that's yellow. In fact, that's yellow. That's armor yellow, the same color as what Union Pacific uses, and
right.
that yellow just pops.
Yeah, it really brought it out. Really brought it out. Now, the Hydra app wasn't free, right?
No, it's like 4.99, or I could
Okay.
be off. It's
Okay.
it's not a very pricey app, but it's not one of the cheaper ones either. But it
Yeah.
is worth the money.
It's
It's a
not your dollar
very
or $2, but
no.
depending on who it is, this a worthy pickup. For
Yeah.
somebody like us in the community that's got an iOS device, it's a
Yeah.
worthy pickup.
Yeah, and even though this is in the HDR setting, it because of all the way it does everything, I was using my car as a tripod because
Of
I was leaning
course.
on it because you can see the car.
Yep. Keeping yourself
And
steady.
right, because if you move just a little bit, you're going to have noise in it, and I was able to keep it pretty rock solid. And in fact, when I took this picture, 2 minutes later, all hell broke loose.
Of course. Doesn't take long, man, when it comes to clouds. All right. So let me jump back here. We're going to look at a few more shots. Screen
Okay,
share on.
let me turn mine off.
Okay.
Stop.
So that was yours with the 6 Plus. Let's give a shout out to my man Robert Knight.
That's another good one.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty clever. Um, well, hold on. Let me go back to what Mr. Van Dyke was saying about this particular challenge here. All right. Let's see. The goal of this challenge is to find a group of something and creatively make one of the subjects stand out from the rest. It can be with camera tricks or creative setup of the subjects. Rules are simple. The one has to be the obvious main subject. That is very key right there. The obvious main subject. The main subject has to be part of a group, i.e., it can't be a person standing among trees. I mean, I really like how he, broke this down here because there could be so many different interpretations, which is why I think we struggled as a community to come up with some shots because it's very easy to have a man standing amongst a bunch of children. Yeah, he's going to stand out, period.
Yeah.
But how do you make one child in a group of children stand out? That's what I enjoyed about this particular challenge.
Right.
But anyway, let's go back to my man Robert here. Of course, he has some. Oh, those are avocados. Yeah,
Has to be.
avocados here, and it's a group of them. Check, and they're all the same. Check, and one of them stands out. check. Why does it stand out? Number one, because it's freaking brightly colored green and yellow. But outside of that, it didn't really do much for me from a creative standpoint. What did he use? I think he's on the OnePlus, right? Yeah, he's using the OnePlus One. And let's see, he used an LED light. Interesting. So no flash. He just used an additional light. That's. I give you points for that, brother. That's some extra effort there.
If you look on that one that one avocado on the very top end,
Yeah.
other end, yeah, you can see where I think that's where the light is because you can see.
Yep, definitely. So I give him credit for that there. It didn't do anything for me creatively because I know what Robert can do. Robert's pretty freaking talented, especially when it comes to taking food photos and macro photos. If you go to his 500ps site, Robert_Knight.500px.com, you'll see more of his work. Really, really good stuff there. But yeah, it just didn't do anything for me. Is there anything you would have done different with this photo, Mr. King?
I would, if you could, maybe kind of make sure that light's not reflected. But really, it's okay. It's I liked it, but it's not. I liked it, yet I didn't like it. Let's put it that way.
What did you like?
You can tell what his goal was. That the open avocado where the opening where the pit was stands out compared to the others. That's about it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I can't think of anything I would have done differently. Part of me wants to zoom out.
I think would have been I think you got it. If you would have zoomed out and kind of shown a little more, it might have been more interesting because you'll then really pick it out.
There's a few more things to try to enhance the shot. Zoom out, maybe had it sitting on some type of nice plating or what have you. I don't know. But right there, this is a macro that didn't necessarily appeal to me. All right. Okay, but anyway, let's look at two more here. Actually, let's pick on mine. I shot this one with my HTC One Max, as I mentioned here. I was at the office that particular day, and it was around noon, so the sun was pretty much, right above my head or just a tad behind me. And there's some stones in the area there, and as I'm walking around the path, I saw this group of stones. And in that group of stones, I saw two in particular that just grabbed my attention. One that was really, really dark, and one that was really, really bright and light, you know what I mean, in color. The thing is, after I shot it and looked at it, it didn't look the same way that my eyes and my brain saw it, So I dropped it in an editor. I think I put it in Lightroom, I think. No, I did it in Polar, that editor that we was using on Chromebooks. I did it in that, which is very similar to Lightroom. And my whole idea was to bring out this particular stone, if possible, and bring out this, or even bring out this stone, because this one really stands out to me because it's so bright. This is a cropped down shot. Over into this side, there was like a path and things and whatnot. And over here, there were more stones sort of scattered across the lawn, but there was just this one particular stack here that got my attention. And again, I don't think it's my best effort, and it disappoints me because my eyes and my own personal vision saw it differently compared to what the camera did, and I just couldn't quite pull it off as to what my brain saw at that time and what I remembered when I walked away from it. That disappointed me. What are your thoughts on it?
First, are those lava rocks? That look like lava rocks to me.
Well, no, and that's another interesting point. I did like the textures that I was able to pull out of it, because you could sort of put your hand on it if you were to look at the screen. You could sort of put your hand on it and feel the roughness of each stone. What happened is this particular area has a lot of red clay. A lot of red
Ah.
clay in the area. So whenever there's a dry day and a lot of wind, all of that dust is just accumulating on these particular stones. And then there's a rainstorm. So they just muddy the stones a little bit and washes off just a tad. And as I played around with the luminance in this shot, the red clay or orange color came out a little bit more, and you can see it there,
Hmm.
and you can even see it on these bright colored stones too, you know. But yeah,
I I
not
do
lava
like,
rocks.
yeah, yeah, I do like that dark one, and
Yeah.
then the two bright ones, right? No, really light ones, especially the one that's the closest to you.
Uh-huh.
I do like that, and you can see the grain and everything, or the texture of it. And that really looks good.
Anything you would have tried to do differently?
I don't know.
It was a
One,
tough shot.
if you notice down on the bottom, there's either a shadow of something, or is that the rock to just the
That's
way
the
it?
other. That's the other rocks
Oh, okay. I
tilted
couldn't tell
against
what
each
that.
other.
I couldn't tell if it was just a shadow or another rock, but I may have wanted to cut that out a little bit and maybe
Okay.
widen and kind of widening it up just a tad.
Okay.
Not the famous Portis crop, but have it a little bit
No.
wider.
And that's the thing. I thought about the shot being a wider shot, but it got distracting because of everything else that was going on around it. I'm actually going to pull up the original shot here, and I'll just drop it into the screen. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So this is this tab. There.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. I would have brought got the grass and stuff down. Now I can see the rocks. They're not rocks. They're boulders practically.
Yeah, yeah, boulders.
But I would have probably with that on the right hand side, that
Hmm.
gray one. I would have probably cropped right across, and then, or I would have taken that one gray one and kind of come up to just about the dirt and cropped all the way over and just let the other side go.
Hmm.
That way you can see more because that one darker rock really shows out even more now.
Hmm. Let's see here.
And if you could bring it up a little bit, bring the no bring our sorry, excuse me, bring it down a little bit to the kind of cut out some of that dirt.
Yeah, that's as far as Google's gonna let me go.
Well, in fact, right there is not bad, right? Just like that.
Yeah, but then the dirt bothers me.
If
You
you,
know what I mean?
yeah,
That right there bothers me.
yeah,
And see, I didn't mind this little piece of weed growing through there. Didn't mind that or this little piece of foliage, but that right there, yeah, that
yeah.
didn't like that.
You might,
Or
you might
even
have
over here in the corner.
maybe you could have come in just a little more, but to kind of some of that out, but leave some of that bigger rock there. If you make that thing thinner, your window, and bring it over like that, and then even like that, and then have a little crop on the other side,
Hmm.
and that would have been a little more interesting, I
Right.
think. But
I agree with you.
see, like that, if you just cut out the other side and cut out the other, say
Having more of this one in the picture
right,
gives it a little
and
more balance.
if where that your window is, then cut out and then come right there at that gray
Hmm.
one, like
Yeah,
that, and just cut on the other side. That would have been a little more interesting.
yeah. Good call. Good call. I'll play around with that some more. All right. But that was my little thingamabob there for the challenge.
Because that one
Appreciate it.
right there, 'cause that one's just a little too tight, I thought.
Yeah.
Still good, but a little too tight.
All right. So now let's look at our runner-up, another regular, if you will. Mr. Tim McCusker, what did he use today? Because he's got about 40 different phones too. he shot it with the 1+1 also and edited in Photoshop Express. He
Uh-huh.
seems to be using that a lot more frequently here recently.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's getting good results with it. Um, I think I downloaded it last night. I got another tablet last night. I think I downloaded it to that, and I'm gonna try to give it a run just to see. Well, I don't know,
Yeah.
but with the theme, make one stand out. We have a keyboard. Yes. Keyboard has a bunch of different keys. Yes. Is one key standing out from the rest of the keys? Yes. Is it
A
interesting?
T. Hmm.
Yes. I
Yes.
think it's interesting.
Yes. He is
Um,
so good.
why do I think it's interesting? Because number one, it's not like perfectly in the center. I like the fact that it's over here in this little quadrant, also known as what? The rule of thirds.
Mm-hmm.
The rule of thirds. Um, I'm wondering, I guess it's somewhat vignetting. I guess that's what you can consider this here, vignetting
Yeah.
all of that out around the edges
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But I wish it was a little sharper, um, because I know when you look at any keyboard, you're going to get a lot of details on keyboards. Why? Because keyboards are dirty. keyboards are
Not always.
Man, keyboards are filthy. I don't care where you go. You go look at a keyboard in the wild, it's gonna be filthy. Look at yours. I can show you
My
mine. It's filthy, and I'm a clean person when it comes to my tech. But
mine. I just ran the vacuum on it, and I run stuff that's called iClear from the Apple Store, and mine is spotless.
well, see, but you did that because previously it was filthy.
It had a little dust on it, not
It
bad.
was
I
dirty.
keep it pretty clean
Yeah,
because
but
this is a notebook, so it goes with me when I'm working, and
of course,
I want to keep a good impression.
of course. But yeah, this one, like I said, if it had been a little sharper, in my opinion, I would have liked it even more. But Tim, this is a damn good shot, bro. Damn good shot. So definitely worth an honorable mention on
Yeah,
this. Is there
yeah,
anything I would have done differently? Get rid of that right there.
yeah.
This U. Take that. You could do like a selective adjustment and just darken that U. You're good. Because
And the
these,
Y,
I think the Y, the R, and the F and G, I think they're at the right
yeah.
uh, luminance, if you will.
And you can tell that's not a backlit keyboard either,
Right,
because
exactly.
everything will be showing up.
Uh-huh. But this is a creative shot, Tim, and hell of a job as usual, brother. Hell of a job.
Yeah.
All right, now let's take a look at the winner. And it scares me that she won because that means the challenge is going to be crazy, insane, and hard.
As always.
This one comes from Nicole H using the Galaxy S5 and a macro lens from Oliclip. And she dropped it in Photoshop Express, adjusting clarity and sharpening it up a little bit and defog a little to reduce the highlight. That makes sense because had she not reduced the highlight, this would have hurt my eyes right there. Good call.
Yeah.
Good call. All right. Did she meet the parameters, Mr. King? Is this thing, is it a group of objects that are the same?
Yes.
Is it a group with one of the objects standing out?
Oh, hell yes.
So she did very, very well here. I like the
And
fact that she got this blur back here to really
yeah,
bring out this one particular Hershey Kiss, not a sponsor, and the fact that she went with a nice bold color to use as the highlight there, pink. Good job, Nicole. Good
oh
freaking job.
yeah. I mean, you couldn't miss the one that was supposed to be front and center.
Yeah, right. I mean, and
It
that's the
it
thing.
yells at you.
And
I'm
that's the
here.
thing. And that's the thing. It's right. It is a perfectly centered shot and so forth, and it works, dude.
Oh
It
yeah.
works. And you can see her little watermark hiding right there. Ain't that cute?
Uh huh.
Nicole, hell of a shot. Hell of a shot with your S5. And I remember looking at the details on it, man. Where'd it go? Look at that. 5,000 pixels by 2,900 pixels.
Mm-hmm.
Good grief. Beautiful. An 8 megabyte file, dude.
Well, as I said,
Goodness.
like last week, we're saying that's the one thing Apple is starting to lag on is their camera. They need to. They need, even if it's going to be the 6 Plus S and the 6 Plus 6S, they
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
go ahead and just jump up the camera. And don't wait for the iPhone 7 with
right.
Force Touch. You can do that next time. Bring that camera up to everybody else's because it's been the gold standard and no
Yeah,
longer.
yeah. They'll catch up, man. That's what they do. They'll
Yeah.
catch up and lead the pack again. That's just what they do.
Yep.
It happens. But Nicole, congratulations to you. We need our metaphorical applause, Mr. King. Got the button? Come on, come
Uh,
on.
it takes me a second. It takes a few minutes, everything to go. Okay,
All right.
and
So again, congratulations to Nicole. We give you your applause and your props as of now. Thank you, sir. Right on time. Uh, by winning that challenge, you are now on the clock to propose a new challenge to the rest of us in the community. And why am I out of
fuzzy.
focus? What the heck just happened here? Let's try that again.
Put your hand up to the camera and pull it
Wow.
away.
Wow.
Does it have autofocus?
Holy crap. It's in macro mode.
Good grief.
There it goes.
There it goes. It's still not clear, but it's better.
What is wrong, camera?
Slap it.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, you can see you're no longer in your black screen.
There we go. Now I got it. A little odd there. I had to adjust it. But anyway,
There we
Nicole, you are now on the clock and need to give us a challenge for the community. So just create an event there on Google Plus. If you're not sure how to do that or need some assistance on just getting it created, just ping me with all of your event details and parameters and so forth, and we'll get that set up for the folks. We'd appreciate that as soon as possible so we can have sort of a head start and get it done by next week's hangout on there. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything that you wanted to discuss in particular, Mr. King? Any particular photos that stood out to you that you wanted to talk about or anything like that?
I've got a few, but unfortunately they were taken with a 5D Mark III.
Oh, Mr. Cannon. Okay.
They're on my aperture. I don't feel like launching it right now, but yeah, I tell you, I'm just still so impressed with the way these smartphones have come out. In fact, like I said, now for my everyday just camera I keep with me, which used to be a G10.
Mm-hmm.
This 6 Plus has replaced it. One thing it hasn't replaced is my good, high-end SLR. Other than that, just everyday shooting, I'm using the camera on the iPhone. And if they ever get that even better, right now, it will never really replace the SLR because I can do so much with it with all the lenses I have.
Mm-hmm.
But I am more and more impressed with these smartphones, and I'm seeing from the what's the new one, the S5?
Yep.
Its camera, and then I think they even say the
no, the S6 is about to come out. It's about to be launched.
S6.
It's already been announced. Mm-hmm.
What's that? The one that was on the Unpacked.
Yeah, that was
S6.
S6. Yes, sir.
And
S6.
I know the Note 4 has a great camera. These OnePlus ones, and even some of the Windows phones. Some of the newer ones now that are not Microsoft's flagship phones, they don't have the best camera. I can always hear Paul Thurrott griping about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, yesterday I got a new tablet and I got today I got a new phone. I now have the Motorola Nexus 6. And you folks know that I've been using the HTC One Max, and prior to the M9 HTC phone that's just been released, HTC has been pretty strong about pushing what they call the ultra pixel technology, meaning you get a smaller, or not smaller, a lower megapixel camera, but from a sensor standpoint, the pixels were bigger, okay, which means you could get more light into your photos for those low light shots, because it seems like most of the world, when they're taking photographs, they're always taking them at night in the club, in the bar, or something like that. Didn't quite work for me all the time because I don't do none of that. But anyway, I now have this phone. I still have my One Max, and I still will keep it and play around with it. But I have this Nexus 6, and I think it had, I don't know, maybe it's 12 megapixels. Let me see. Nexus 6. Nexus 6. I'm going to look real quick because this is really, really interesting.
I think it is 12. I think it's 12.
All right. It did come with the latest version of Android. It's running 5.1 Android. And the camera is 13 megapixel. 13 megapixel. I took one photo with this thing this afternoon, and it's totally random. It's just a photo of my father's plant, and just from looking at it on the screen, it looks great. On the phone screen, that is, it looks great. But then again, I've done that with other phones, and then you go and pull them up on a computer screen, larger screen, and you're like, oh, good gosh, what the heck was that? So stay tuned for photos from this bad boy. I'm going to see if I can get another telephoto lens attachment, because the previous telephoto lens attachment I have, I think the actual bracket on it has like a piece missing, because I went to use my HTC One Max the other day and take some telephoto shots, and I got it mounted onto the tripod and got the telephoto lens mounted onto the back of it here, turned around to grab something, and when I turned back around towards the camera just flew out. The clamp that holds the telephoto lens, the clamp literally just did just like that. And when it did that, it forced my phone out, and it just smacked on the ground. So I have a little hairline crack on my phone. You can see it right there. Got a hairline crack on the screen. But fortunately, it's not an intrusive crack. It didn't really kill the phone, but that just told me right there there's probably something wrong with that clamp. It may be like a piece of rubber that got popped off or something to keep it from sliding like that. But I'd like to try a telephoto lens with a higher megapixel camera, as well as just look at how this camera performs, from a photography standpoint, not necessarily a selfie standpoint or an Instagram standpoint, just a photography standpoint.
Yeah. I've seen some pictures coming off the Nexus 6. Let's see, Jason, or not Jason, whatever his name is, that does all about Android. He's put
Jason
up
Howell?
Jason Howell. He has a Nexus 6, and he's put up some photos in Flickr, I believe it is, and they are gorgeous.
Shout out to Jason Howell. Jason Howell's a cool cat. It's been nice to be able to interact with him on both Twitter and Google+. It's, I don't know, who knows, one of these days I might end up as a guest on this show. But shout out to Jason Howell.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
You're a cool guy, dude. You're a cool dude. But yeah, that's the latest and greatest from me. I also have a Sony Xperia Z2 tablet, which has I think it has an 8 megapixel camera on the back of it. And for the heck of it, I'm going to take some pictures with it. I'm not one of those folks that goes around with tablets and do this out in public. No, I am not that dude. But I'm going to try it just for the sakes of testing it out, just to see how good it really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Sunday,
I'll share some of those too.
Sunday, I was at the rodeo.
Uh-huh.
And besides all these smartphones, I couldn't believe people were using like the iPad the iPad Mini with the Retina, with it taking pictures with it, and some of the other tablets. It was just unbelievable. I said, "Whoa!" I'm like this. Come on, people.
I see that. I've seen that a lot in different conventions. I can remember at one point in time seeing seeing it in downtown Charlotte as people were leaving work or whatever, because downtown Charlotte is full of bankers, okay, full of financial professionals and whatnot. And they would be walking down the street, going to their different destinations or whatever, and flipping through the tablets, checking this and that. And every now and then you'd see somebody hold one up, and it was the funniest looking thing.
Oh, if
You
you want to
probably don't
see
want to
that,
do that in the middle of a city and somebody snatch that thing and run off with it.
yeah. Well, I got a friend of mine that I'm not going to mention right now who it is, but it's in the Austin area. Of
Mm.
course, everybody knows what's going on in Austin right now,
Yep.
and she is telling me she has seen tablets after tablets after tablets after tablets using it for photos. Then you said all of a sudden she'll see about 20 tablets. Then you see a smartphone, one of the large ones said like iPhone or one of the Samsungs or
Yeah.
or any of those. Then everything else you see are the stuff like the iPad Mini. Those kind of tablets. Said, come on.
Well, the iPad Mini is pretty much a regular phone size nowadays.
Yeah, it's
Considering the 6 Plus, considering this Nexus 6 I have, considering my old HTC One Max, all of those are 6-inch phones right off the bat.
mm-hmm.
So,
And
anyway,
it's 7.5 inch.
yeah.
Or
So
no, 7.9. It's
it's
almost
not
8
much,
inch.
not much different from a phone. Not much different. All right. Well, I don't have anything else I would like to share tonight. Well, actually, I do want to give one shout out here. This photo from Christine. Let me share it real quick, because it was another one of those that just touched my heart. Chris is my man he's up in Washington. You see my screen okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm moving it around and I hope I didn't screw something up. There we go. All right. He is up in I think in the Spokane, Washington area. Yep, downtown Spokane. And he says this is one of the more popular photos he contributed to his company's Instagram account. So he's doing some photo work and social media work for the JOB. That's what's up, man. Respect. But popularity. I was like, okay, well, what would make this shot popular? And for me, it's just the point of view. It's the emotion drawn from this little kid that has apparently some type of goodie in its hand. I don't know if it's a lollipop or what, but how kids are with their,
Yeah.
what is that? It looks like a lollipop.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, Mr. King, but you give a kid a lollipop around here, I mean, they hold on to that thing and nothing else matters. But in this
Right.
particular shot, man, this kid has that lollipop and says, oh, wait a minute, that's a band. Oh, wait a minute, they got kilts on? And the lollipop becomes second fiddle at that time. His attention is clearly over here, and it just almost like the kid is saying, whoa. And I can't even see his face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I imagine it's what? Well, of course, what probably gets your attention, that no doubt is a bagpipe band, and those have the most unique sounds.
Yeah.
And every time I hear one, I forget everything. Said I love listening to those things.
Yeah, they sound great. They do. I love this shot, Chris. Big ups to you, and I can definitely see why this was popular on your company's Instagram account. That shot tugged at my heart, bro. Good stuff. Appreciate you sharing that with us. Wouldn't do a thing to it. All right. So before we get out of here, my man, let's tell the folks where we can find Mr. Michael King and all of his photography work.
All my photography work you can find either here on Google Plus or on Flickr at Michael King 4023. And I take a lot of pictures, especially whenever Hog has a meeting. I always take a lot of pictures. I put them up, and unfortunately, I don't put them in this group because I'm taking them with a Solar. So
Of
I just put
course.
them. I just put them up in. I put them up on both Flickr and just publicly share them on G Plus.
Of course. Of course. All right, brother. Well, thank you for coming out and hanging with me and discussing
Anytime.
these photos tonight. All right, and me, lastly, I am Ant Pruitt. As the lower third says, you can find me here on Google Plus, of course. Just search for Ant Pruitt, just as it says. You can also check out my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and youtube.com/Ant Pruitt, and it'll pop up this mug. And if you're a Twitter user, you can just look for Ant_Pruitt, and you got me. Thank you, folks, for checking out this little hangout on air. Be sure to check out our website. We have a website that's called smartphone-photographers.com. And just like this hangout on air, you're going to get the reruns of this particular hangout for knowledge space and knowledge sharing stuff. And you're going to see a few highlights of different people in there from some of the shots that they've taken, but it's definitely a site to let you get your learn on, if you will. You know what I mean? But then I built another site called Amazing Phone Photos. It is strictly a gallery. If you go to amazingphonephotos.com, you can just sit there for a couple hours because it's just going to load up and it's going to show you a beautiful picture taken by a phone, whether it's an iOS device or Android device or a Windows device or what have you. It's going to show a picture and then it's going to swipe through to another shot. And you're going to say, wow. And then it'll go to the next shot. And you say, damn, that was nice too. And it'll go to the next shot. I mean, it is a total time sink. Just go to amazingphonephotos.com. I've made it as simple and elegant as possible as I could. All right, and I appreciate that. Be sure to check us out in the community hangout each and every week on Thursdays at approximately 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do the math for whatever your time zone is. Sometimes we're a little bit late, just depends on what's going on with me and getting the setup squared away and whatnot. And if you're interested in joining our smartphone photographers community, feel free to hit myself up or my man, Mr. Michael King, or any of our other moderators. If you just search for the smartphone photographers community hosted by Ant Pruitt, there should be an option that says request invite. And when you do that, it'll notify the moderators, and we'll go ahead and take a look at your account because we like to look at the members as people that will fit in the community. This isn't a community about spamming and showing off all of your favorite photos. This is a community about showing your favorite photos, but also sharing your favorite tips and tricks and little ideas to help people get better. We will critique your photos because other folks will critique other shots as well. This is a learning center. You know what I mean? So click that button to say request an invite, and we will background check you and pull you in if you're good. All right. Until next week, thank you folks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Deuces.